Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine this, a world where the truth of Islam was met with relentless persecution, where the believers were beaten, ostracized, and driven to the brink. Yet, in the face of unimaginable trials, a group of people guided by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made the ultimate journey of faith, sacrifice, and courage. I am talking about the Hijrah, the greatest migration is in Islamic history. This wasn't just a physical journey from Makkah to Madinah, it was a turning point, a revolution, and a lesson for all time. Today, we'll dive into the story of Hijrah, why it matters, and the profound lessons it holds for us. Buckle up, because this is a story that will move your heart and soul. Context of Hijrah. Let's rewind 1,400 years to the early days of Islam. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ had been calling people to the worship of one God, Allah, for over a decade in Makkah. While someone embraced the message, the Quraysh, the most powerful tribe ruling Makkah, saw Islam as a threat to their power and way of life. They respond: brutal persecution. Muslims were tortured, families were torn apart. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ himself was mocked, stoned, and plotted against. The turning point came when the Quraysh hatched a sinister plan to assassinate the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. This was no longer about resistance, it was survival. But here's the beauty of it. Allah had a plan. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's plan is set in motion, no force in the universe can stop, because the journey of faith and sacrifice. The night of the Hijrah was nothing short of extraordinary. Quraysh surrounded the Prophet's house and weapons were in hands, ready to strike. But Allah commanded the Prophet to leave under cover of darkness. As the Quraysh waited outside, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ walked past them unharmed, reciting, "And we have placed a barrier before them and a barrier behind them, and we have covered them so they do not see." The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and his closest companion Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu embarked on perilous journey to Madinah, leaving behind their home, their possessions, and everything familiar for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Can you imagine the weight of this moment? Two men carrying the future of Islam on their shoulders, venturing into the unknown with nothing but the trust of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They hid in the cave of Thor as the Quraysh hunted them relentlessly. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, overwhelmed with worry, whispered, "If they look down at their feet, they will see us." And the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, calm and steadfast, replied, "Do not be afraid, for Allah is with us." Subhanallah, that wasn't just a journey, it was a declaration of faith, courage, resilience on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, what's the arrival in Medina? A new dawn. After days of hardships, exhaustion, and unwavering trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu finally arrived in Medina. And what has awaited them? A city transformed by hope, faith, and love. The people of Medina, the Ansar, welcomed the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, and the Muhajirun with their open arms and hearts. They became one community, brothers and sisters in Islam, showing the peace of unity and sacrifice. This was not just the beginning of a new city, it was a birth of a new civilization, a civilization built on justice and compassion and the worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ established the first mosque, Masjid al-Quba, a symbol of worship. The constitution of Medina was formed, ensuring peace and coexistence among all groups. The Hijrah wasn't just a migration, it was the foundation of everything we stand on today, because lessons for our lives today. So what does the Hijrah actually teach us? Why is it more than just a historical event? Faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala transform fear into strength. But listen, when the odds are stacked against you, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and his companions trusted Allah completely. The trust gave them courage beyond imagination. In our lives, when we face trials, remember the word, do not be afraid, for Allah is with us. Sacrifice is the path to success. The companions left their home, wealth, and family for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They remind us that the dunya is temporary, but what we do for Allah lasts forever. subhanallah, unity and brotherhood are our strength. The Ansar and the Muhajirun showed us the beauty of standing together as one ummah in a divided world. The Hijrah calls us to rebuild the bonds of brotherhood and sisterhood. Every struggle is a step towards victory, because the Hijrah wasn't easy, but it led to establishment of Islam as a global force. Your struggles, no matter how small steps, these are the steps towards something greater. Trust the process, taking inspiration for the Hijrah. My dear brothers and sisters, the Hijrah isn't just a story from the past, it's a call to action for the present. What you leave behind for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? What journey will you take to become closer to Him? Now today I will challenge you now, okay? I challenge you, reflect on your own Hijrah. It could be leaving a bad habit, taking a step towards your deen, or prioritizing your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Write down one sacrifice you make today for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And please, that one sacrifice could be either scrolling on TikTok too much or chasing fake dopamine, whatever you want, whatever bad habits you have, like smoking, or and follow through to share the story of the Hijrah with someone and let it inspire them as it inspires you. Now, what is the spirit of the Hijrahs in our lives? The Hijrah is more than a migration. It's a testament to what faith, courage, and unity can achieve. It's a reminder that no matter dark the night is, the dawn of victory will always come for those who trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So let's carry the spirit of the Hijrah in our hearts. Let's strive, sacrifice, and stand firm in the face of challenges, just as our Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and his companions did. If this story moved you, share it. Let's ignite the lessons of the Hijrah in our lives and inspire others to do the same. Jazakallahu khairan for joining me on this journey through history. Until next time, أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
نزرع قيما نمحي جهلا للجنة نسعى.